On January 30th, 1948, the world stood still, united in grief and disbelief. The news of Mahatma Gandhi's assassination sent shockwaves across the globe, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of millions. Mahatma Gandhi, the apostle of peace and nonviolence, was a beacon of hope in a tumultuous world. His unwavering commitment to justice and equality inspired countless individuals. The man who led India to freedom was no more. His absence left a void that was felt deeply by a nation that had come to see him as its moral compass. A nation mourned the loss of its beloved Bapu, its father. The streets were filled with people, their faces etched with sorrow and disbelief. The man who had always advocated for peace met a tragic end at the hands of an assassin's bullet. It was a cruel irony that a life dedicated to nonviolence was ended so violently. The date remains etched in India's memory, a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the enduring power of hatred. It serves as a solemn day of reflection and remembrance. Gandhi's assassination was not just a loss for India but for humanity as a whole. His vision of a world united by love and understanding was shattered, leaving a legacy of unfulfilled dreams. He was a global icon, a symbol of hope and inspiration for millions fighting for justice and equality. His influence extended far beyond the borders of India, touching lives across continents. His teachings on nonviolence, truth, and satyagraha had resonated far beyond India's borders, influencing movements and leaders across continents. His words and actions became a guiding light for those seeking change through peaceful means. His death left a void, a sense of profound loss that transcended geographical boundaries. The world had lost a champion of peace, a voice of reason in times of turmoil. The news of Gandhi's assassination spread like wildfire across the globe, leaving a trail of shock and disbelief in its wake. People everywhere struggled to come to terms with the enormity of the loss. World leaders from Winston Churchill to Albert Einstein expressed their condolences, recognizing the immense loss the world had suffered. Their words echoed the sentiments of millions who felt the weight of Gandhi's absence. Gandhi's assassination was a stark reminder that even the most revered and peaceful souls are not immune to the perils of hatred and intolerance. It highlighted the ongoing struggle against these destructive forces. His death served as a tragic testament to the urgent need for peace and understanding in a world often consumed by violence and division. It underscored the importance of continuing his mission. It underscored the importance of his teachings on nonviolence and tolerance, making them even more relevant in a world grappling with conflict and strife. Gandhi's legacy lives on, reminding us of the power of peaceful resistance and the enduring quest for justice. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, fondly known as Mahatma, meaning great soul, was born on October 2, 1869, in Porbandar, Gujarat. From a young age, Gandhi was deeply influenced by the values of truth and non-violence, which were instilled in him by his devout mother. His life was a testament to his unwavering belief in the power of truth, non-violence, and satyagraha. These principles guided him through every challenge and struggle he faced. He showed the world that freedom could be achieved, not through violence and bloodshed, but through peaceful resistance and civil disobedience. His methods inspired countless movements for civil rights and freedom across the globe. Gandhi's journey began in South Africa, where he witnessed firsthand the evils of racial discrimination. It was here that he began to formulate his ideas on social justice and equality. It was there that he developed his philosophy of satyagraha, a powerful tool of resistance that emphasized truth and non-violence. This philosophy would become the cornerstone of his life's work. He returned to India in 1915 and quickly rose to prominence in the Indian independence movement. His return marked the beginning of a new era in the struggle for freedom. Leading from the front, Gandhi galvanized the Indian masses with his simple yet powerful message of Swaraj, or self-rule. His ability to connect with the common people was unparalleled. He united people from all walks of life under the banner of non-violent resistance against British rule. His leadership brought together a nation divided by caste, religion, and language. His leadership was instrumental in India achieving independence in 1947. The dream of a free India had finally been realized. However, the joy of independence was short-lived. The partition of India brought with it immense suffering and loss. The partition of India and Pakistan led to widespread communal violence, a tragedy that deeply saddened Gandhi. He was heartbroken by the division and the ensuing bloodshed. He dedicated the final months of his life to quelling the flames of hatred and promoting peace and harmony between Hindus and Muslims. His efforts were a testament to his enduring commitment to non-violence and unity. The seeds of discontent that ultimately led to Gandhi's assassination were sown in the years leading up to India's independence. The struggle for freedom from British rule was not just a fight against colonialism but also a battle for the soul of India. The partition, while marking the end of British rule, also fanned the flames of communal tensions between Hindus and Muslims. The mass migrations and the violence that ensued left deep scars on the collective psyche of the nation. This division created a fertile ground for extremist ideologies to take root. The trauma of partition and the ensuing chaos provided a breeding ground for radical thoughts and actions. Among those who opposed Gandhi's vision of a secular India was a group of Hindu nationalists. They were vehemently against the idea of a pluralistic society where all religions coexisted peacefully. They believed in Hindutva, an ideology that sought to define Indian identity solely in terms of Hindu religion and culture. This ideology was in stark contrast to Gandhi's inclusive vision. They resented Gandhi's efforts to promote Hindu-Muslim unity, viewing it as a betrayal of Hindu interests. To them, Gandhi's actions were seen as undermining the very foundation of their beliefs. Nathuram Godse, a young man deeply influenced by Hindu nationalist ideology, emerged as a key figure in this growing discontent. His radicalization was a reflection of the larger societal unrest. He held Gandhi responsible for the partition and the subsequent violence, blaming him for being too accommodating to Muslims. This belief was further cemented by the propaganda he consumed. Godse's hatred for Gandhi festered, fueled by extremist propaganda and a warped sense of patriotism. His anger and frustration found a dangerous outlet in the form of violence. Gandhi, with his unwavering faith in humanity and his commitment to nonviolence, refused to be cowed down by the threats and the rising tide of hatred. His resolve remained unshaken despite the growing animosity. He continued to appeal for peace and unity, urging Hindus and Muslims to coexist as brothers and sisters. His message of love and harmony was a beacon of hope in those turbulent times. Section 4. The plot unfolds, days leading to the tragedy. In the days leading up to the fateful day of January 30th, 1948, a sinister plot to assassinate Gandhi was already in motion. Godse, along with a group of like-minded individuals, had been planning the assassination, driven by their fanaticism and blinded by their hatred. They saw Gandhi as an obstacle to their vision of a Hindu Rashtra, a Hindu nation, and believed that his elimination would pave the way for their ideology to flourish. The group meticulously planned the assassination, acquiring weapons and conducting reconnaissance at Birla House, where Gandhi was staying in Delhi. On January 13, 1948, Godse and his accomplices made their first attempt on Gandhi's life. They set off a crude bomb at Birla House during Gandhi's evening prayer meeting. However, the bomb exploded prematurely, causing minimal damage and failing to harm Gandhi. The failed attempt sent shockwaves through the nation, but it did little to deter Godse and his group. Undeterred by their initial failure, they remained determined to carry out their sinister plan. They saw Gandhi's assassination as a necessary act, a sacrifice they were willing to make for their cause. Section 5. A Nation's Heartbreak. Gandhi's Final Moments. January 30th, 1948 dawned like any other winter day in Delhi, unaware of the tragedy that was about to unfold. At Birla House, Gandhi's day began as usual, with his morning prayers and a light breakfast. He was scheduled to address a prayer meeting later that afternoon, an event that would tragically become his last. As the clock struck 5:17 p.m., Gandhi, leaning on the shoulders of his grandnieces, walked towards the garden where the prayer meeting was held. A large crowd had gathered to hear their beloved Bapu. As he made his way through the crowd, a young man stepped forward. It was Nathuram Godse. With a chilling calmness, he bowed to Gandhi, pulled out a Beretta automatic pistol and fired 3 shots at point-blank range. The bullets pierced through Gandhi's frail body, silencing the Mahatma's voice forever. "Hey Ram! Oh God!" Gandhi uttered as he fell to the ground, his hands still clasped in prayer. The crowd watched in horror and disbelief as the man who had always preached nonviolence breathed his last, a victim of the very hatred he had dedicated his life to fighting.